Audio. As we're getting word back from our studio, we sound good, hopefully. The video should look good as well. And man, Dan, are they cramming in here tonight? We got a bunch of radio stations here. We got cameras all over the place. I feel kind of like a celebrity. And, you know, I love seeing the community come together and watch their Vikings, because why not?
WISC TV3's game of the week, I believe. Jay Wilson was saying earlier, I think they do 9 games, a couple boys games, some girls games, and volleyball?
Yep, volleyball, hockey.
So it's kind of cool having
and
a statewide known person sitting 5 feet away from you.
Before overtime, my cousin Steven Hurlson came up to me and said hi. So a little shout out to you, Steven. Thanks for coming up and saying hi to the group here. And hopefully you don't cause too much mayhem here, like we know you usually do. I'm just kidding. As Ethan Post, who we know from football, is a very athletic player. And the tap is controlled by the Vikings. So, like I said, a little extra bonus footage here for you, some JV action. As
Nick Flaherty.
Yeah, Nick Flaherty. I'm not as used to the JV players as you may be, Dan.
I forgive you, Will. They're not in your grade like they are for me.
Yeah, they're not in my grade. They're little youngsters. So, Trey Ryan almost lost it. No, they call a bump or a block, excuse me. So everything should be good now. We just got word that we got the ads and you get to listen to our beautiful voices and they don't have to sound like robots. I mean, who wouldn't want to sound like a transformer? I mean, that is pretty cool. But we got a business to attend to as
James Brinkman gets it out to Nick Flaherty. Stop and pop jumper, just short. Rebound by Waunakee. 2-on-1 fast break.
Dan, if you want to go ahead and take the play-by-play, by all means, go ahead and do so. Because you know these players better than I do.
This little daunting task you're giving me, Will.
I have no doubt in my mind that you can do it.
Thanks, Will. First free throw is up and rattles in. Giving him a 39-38 lead with 3:13 left in the extra period.
Yeah, 3:13, like you said, 1 point lead for Waunakee here. People are getting hyped about this JV game. Not many people can say that. Now that they have the crowd of the varsity team, they have everybody pulling for them.
Waunakee bringing out the full court press. 2 men back and 3 in the front court. Get it to Carter Jilks. Back to Flaherty running the point. Looking to send a double team to James Brinkman, out to Jilks, to post. Skip pass to Brinkman, 3 is up and just off. Bodies on the ground now. Waunakee comes away with it.
They played tough. That they did.
Out to Jake May, top of the key AAU teammates, I believe, with Owen Ziegler.
Mount Horeb, they don't want to dig themselves a hole. We saw, and a good travel call there.
Nick Flaherty looking to inbound it. Most likely going to be getting it back. Changing the place of inbound, I guess you could call it, Will. Out to Brinkman. Just shy of the opposite free throw line. Flaherty. Back to Brinkman.
Gonna want to get it across. Ooh, nice back behind the back.
To Ryan. To post. QB in football. To Brinkman.
Good baseline
Great drive.
Right into the hands of Jilks. No good. Sorry, Dan. I took over for you there. Just instinct.
Nah, you're good, Will.
I apologize.
Out to number 10, that would be Casey Fisher. To Jake May.
Oh, no. Travel. They need to call a travel on that. 10 steps, and that's not a travel. Last time I checked, I'm pretty sure we don't have the NBA refs out here, so.
We do have Mr. Malecki, though.
Yes.
Shout out to Mr. Malecki.
Yes.
My mush teacher last year.
And my favorite referee / teacher out there.
Couple of free throws coming for Jake May. First one is up and splash. 41-38 lead with 1:48 left in the extra time. Second free throw is up and coming. May gets the ball. Shot is up and just off the front rim. Jilks with the board to Flaherty running the point.
And Dan, you got to be thinking. Right now they're down by 3, but you don't need to take the 3. You can have a bad shot decision by Flaherty.
Was a reaching foul, I believe.
Got his defender in the air, but he had no chance of putting that in the bucket and hoping for a 3-point play.
Flaherty with 2 shots up and coming. Got to make them both. Be a clutch free throw shooter, kind of like Dustin Zenz was against. Oh, geez, this was a while ago, Will.
Black Hawk.
Yes.
I believe.
First shot is up and just off.
Dan, I remember every pregame we've done so far this year, you've been saying a key to the game for either team is free throws.
Second is up and no good. Misses them both.
And that
post hits the floor.
The likelihood of you winning a game and missing 2 free throws goes down dramatically. Ooh, air ball city. Put a little air on that, as they say. You kids these days.
Timeout called. 1:25 left. 41-38 lead.
We'll keep it here, Dan. We gotta inform these people what's going on. So yes, we are a little farther into our broadcast because one JV game is in overtime here, so a little extra basketball for you to listen to. Hopefully our varsity game that we got going on later doesn't have to go into overtime, but hopefully it should be a Vikings win in regulation, but I'll take a win regardless.
Speaking of the game, Waunakee coming in 8-1 overall, 4-0 in conference. Their only loss was they got beat by Kaukauna up in Green Bay. I probably already said this, Will, so I'm sorry, folks, but 101-66. And Jordan McCabe was playing. I don't know if you guys have heard of him, but I think he's going to Kentucky. West Virginia.
West Virginia, like you said, yes.
And then the Vikings are coming in 6-1 overall, 3-1 in conference. And I didn't see it happen there, Will. What happened?
A little bad turn of events, just trying to do an overhead pass, and it went off of a Waunakee player.
Inbound to post, running the point to Brinkman. To Flaherty. Just need to get it across the timeline here.
The oh boy. Costly turnover. Oh, he may have gotten away with steps. They're Waunakee just looking to kill the clock. They don't want to.
Jake May with a fancy dribbler moves behind the back.
Travel. Yeah, offensive foul.
Great call there. I believe that was Mr. Malecki with the call.
Mr. Malecki, I don't want to be biased, but you are the greatest, so.
Pretty good call. Looks like he just may have pushed off a little bit, and I believe that's what the call was.
Easy call for a ref when they push off. If it's the elbow or the hand, it's really easy. That's all they have to do is look at where your arms are if you're an offensive player driving. I watched a documentary on refs in the NBA, and I couldn't remember the name of the ref, but he said his main focus is either watching the feet, well, not as much the feet as we can tell. They're not really, they said they were cracking down on travels in the NBA, Dan, and we both know that that's not true.
There have been some I was watching a video once because I didn't have anything to do, and you kind of do some stuff when you're bored.
Yeah.
So I was watching a video of worst travels in NBA history, and there were some pretty bad ones.
Yeah.
Let's just leave it at that.
21-foot step travels, but what I was getting to in that documentary is they've been saying they've been trying to crack down on offensive fouls because lately in college football and professional football, not professional football, college basketball and professional basketball, they have been trying to crack down on offensive fouls because a lot of the time some players extend that arm and push the defensive player away, making it easy basket. So yeah, like they've been cracking down on that, and I have been scanning this crowd here we have at Mount Horeb. A couple alumni basketball players, Dan, down there in the front row.
Who are you seeing?
Ryan Cradwell, Mike Holm.
Pretty darn good eyes you have there, Will.
Pretty darn good eyes. I mean, I have pretty good eyes. They say I have the eyes of an eagle, and that's pretty cool. And a bunch of Mount Horeb alumni is here.
Post at the stripe, looking to shoot 2.
These are clutch free throws.
Just about to say that.
Just about 40 seconds left. I'll say 40 because, that's what it is. You need to make at least one of these to keep yourself in the game. Just bonus. So Post's got to hit this first one, which he misses it. Okay. Here we go, folks. Waunakee looking to just dribble out the clock. To number 5, that would be Alec Morgan. On the baseline. Vikings probably, if I were them, I would go for a 3 here. Although it may be a little risky. You got to get it 1 year. You don't need a 3. If you have an open 3 and you take the shot, go ahead. But you have almost 20 seconds left, and they need to get the ball across the court. They need to get over. Yep. Timeout, smart call there.
Great defense by the Waunakee Warriors.
So
we'll keep it here. Well, why not?
17 seconds. Yeah, we're going to keep it here. 17 seconds left in overtime. So
going ahead to the varsity game one more time, Will, before the actual game.
Well, if we tell them all the varsity stuff right now, Dan, we'll have nothing to talk about in our pregame show. So
tis a good point, Will.
We shall save some for later, as they would say.
Tis a good point, Will. Never thought of that. You're a smart dude, Will.
Yes. The only reason I say that is because I don't want to say all the brilliant things I have written down on my sheet too early and too fast. I've been putting a lot of time into this, Dan, and I've been waiting for that moment where I read it off the page, and it just sounds as amazing as it looks when I typed it on the computer. So, 17.3 left, Dan.
This will be another great finish. JV team, I believe, looking to go.
I don't know.
7-0. I know they're unbeaten, but so it's either 6-0 or 7-0. However many games we've played.
I don't know.
Somewhere in there, 6 or 7-0. Anyway, they're unbeaten, folks, and looking to keep that streak alive. Send it to double overtime to Post. Down to Carter
you need to
Jokes.
Shoot that right away. You need to call a timeout here or foul right away. Time's running.
Good foul by Brinkman. Might just be a tad bit late.
Too late. And this would be a crushing loss, Dan. We watched this game from the beginning, and they had control of it early. And to give up a late lead is going to stink if they end up losing this game. So
I've seen some crazy things happen in basketball.
I've seen
you never know what can happen.
That's true. I've seen some crazy things happen. I've seen people go behind their head and chuck up a half quarter.
And splash it.
Whether that was luck or skill, I have no idea.
Second free throw for, I can't see the number, but it's up, and it's no good. Maybe an intentional miss to Brinkman.
Call a timeout.
To Flair.
Too late. No good.
Great game, though, by the Waunakee Warriors. Got to give it up to them. As your Mount Horeb Pep Band plays the school song to support your JV team, and the student section is now on their feet.
Like we said, Dan, the band is up and ready for their varsity game we got going on here.
Directed by the Will Jansen, one of the best band directors I've ever had. Sorry to the middle school band directors. Jansen just can joke around. He's a hilarious guy. And
Mish Schlafer, he is a hilarious guy, Dan. He also has a way of getting you to do things. I remember he said in one of my choir concerts, if I didn't have black shoes, he had some black spray paint and could help me out. He's a nice dude, funny guy.
Same way for Pep Band, you had to have all black shoes.
it's nice. He's just a fun person to be around, and he always has his band ready to support his Vikings team. So
a lot of preparation goes into this. I was in pep band last year. A lot of preparation goes into playing for half an hour, 45 minutes. You prepare for since the last game to this game, which could be 2 days, it could be a few weeks, like it was this time.
As our Mount Horeb Vikings varsity team takes center stage, gets ready for their primetime matchup with the Waunakee Warriors. And Dan, they're sporting that Indiana-like uniform here. Dan, we've been saving these stats for this pregame show we have here, and some recent news that we've heard. Waunakee starting, I would say, power forward, shooting guard maybe. He does a little bit of everything. Mitch Listow is ruled out for the game. And what a big loss that is for Waunakee. He averaged right around 23.6 points per game. And it was just an absolute force. Almost shot almost 80% from the three, from beyond three. So what a dangerous threat that is gone away. But for the Vikings, you don't really care. All that you want to do is beat Waunakee, and that's been the mindset all week.
Waunakee, as you written down, well, that's what I was going to say earlier, but you said nay to that. Waunakee still heavy favorites to win the Badger North, but a loss to your Mount Horeb Vikings could completely flip the script in terms of playoff bracket seeding, and this win might have just increased a little bit with Listow being out. They're losing 24 games, so we'll see if the saying of next man up really, Waunakee really has that nailed.
And Dan, like you said, we don't want to think too far into the future here, but it's always an exciting thing when we talk about playoff basketball or NCAA basketball, or excuse me, the tournament. I got a little ahead of myself there saying NCAA, but ever since that state championship run in 2015, we always look ahead to the bracket, and in a lot of ways, this 2017-18 team reminds me of that 2015 team in the way they didn't have the most height like many teams did in the tournament, but they just found ways to beat you, whether that was offensive rebound, defensive rebound, free throws. I don't know. To be honest, I can't remember much from that 2015 season except for the fact that they won a bunch of games.
That's the only thing that kind of matters when it comes down to it.
That's one thing I like to say the most is I don't care who you beat or who you lost to. Win's a win, loss is a loss. Put it ahead of you. Take it one win at a time and keep moving forward. It is a good saying to keep in mind. I mean, what I mean by don't take a win's a win, a loss is a loss. I mean, you don't want to get hung over on a win or a loss. Perfect example is one I can think of in my head is there was, I'm not sure if you watched, Dan, the Ohio State versus Penn State football game this year. Ohio State won a thriller game and laid an egg in Iowa City. So that's something you don't want to get hung on, a good win or a bad loss. A bad loss, especially, Dan, could hurt playoff chances, but like I said earlier, you don't want to start thinking playoff before we
get 10 games into the season.
Yeah, before we got 10 games of the season. Well, we tend to think that here. We're excited. I have never, in the many years of me watching Mount Horeb basketball before my Wisco days and before high school, this team has really surprised me with their athleticism and physicality. And I like to approach the players who are in my grade here and ask them how they think they can do. I mean, what were the expectations they had set for the season? And they know what the hype for Waunakee was. They know every year Waunakee is the heavily favorites to win the Badger North. But Dan, what we saw in a newspaper was the Vikings were second, and I like like I said before, I go up to my classmates and I ask them, so how you guys handle the hype being favored to be second in Badger North? And they say, well, we don't think about it at all, actually. We just think about winning a game, like I said. They said they wouldn't care if they were 0-7 or 7-0. It doesn't matter to them. And they take one game at a time, and they don't get too hung up on things. And as a coach, that would make you very happy, I would say.
Yeah, one way I think of Waunakee is they're kind of like the Kentucky or Duke of college basketball. It seems like they're always loaded, always in contention to win a championship, and they're always pretty good.
Always loaded, like you said, and they're always the favorite to win the Badger North. So this year, the Vikings were actually surprised, I would say. I mean, as Dan and I are about as homer as it gets, as we love our Vikings. But seeing that they were picked to finish second in the division this year was a little shock to us, because this Badger North is loaded with teams. Like this year, a good surprise is Portage. Dan and I, when I was doing stats and I told him that Portage was tied for second with the Vikings, he was like, "Really? Are you serious?" But yeah, they're tied with Portage. So back with some stats here, folks. So like we said before, Mitch Listow hurt himself in one of the tournament games in Green Bay, and that's a significant loss for Waunakee. He averaged almost 24 points per game. He averaged 23.6, so just around 24. And their next leading scorer has 13.3. So Dan, that's a 10-point loss if things stay true. And I'm sure as a Viking fan, I would never be happy. I wouldn't think for a second, yes, you have a star player not playing, but I don't care. You want to beat Waunakee, and you want to beat them bad. And I'm sure that's what Waunakee thinks about Mount Horeb. So it doesn't matter if their star player is out. They're just going to keep their same game plan and just adjust as they go along the way.
Yeah, Waunakee is kind of, I think of them as like the Golden State Warriors. They're like, if one of their star players is out, as in like Listow, kind of like when the Warriors had Steph Curry out, they just had like their next biggest man step up and score a few more buckets and grab a few more boards, and they were winning games even without one of the greatest players in the league.
Like you said, Dan, that's a very good comparison, because that may be how Waunakee feels playing without their star player. We got 7:25 left as the band is showing their spirit here in Mount Horeb. As we got what I saw on papers, we had a 7:30 tip, and we're about there. The clock says we'll go a little over 7:30, but in this routine, Dan, we know watching these Waunakee Warriors set or practice, they are shooters. And that, like I said, Dan, a stat of Waunakee, Mitch Listow, who was a three-point threat. And I don't want to say the Vikings don't have to worry about that, because they will have to. But, I mean, you got to breathe a sigh of relief knowing that one of their star three-point shooters is out.
This is just one of those perfect examples. I probably already used this analogy, but I don't know if I did, so I'll use it again, Will.
All right.
It's like the thing that we always say here in Wisco, next man up. So their next leading scorer, Mason Steffen, has really got to probably score those 10 extra points that Listow would have contributed with.
Right.
To at least average it out, I guess, and then maybe bump up his season averages.
Right. And, Dan, what's the story with Waunakee right now? Well, their last game that they played was an embarrassment, to say the least. As I looked and studied for this team, they played Kakana with arguably the best player in Wisconsin on that team, and just got annihilated in the second half. Kakana scored 60 points where Waunakee scored 28, and the final score ended up being a 35-point loss for the Warriors. So
they're probably going to be coming into this game looking for a little redemption.
Looking for blood, and they're going to be, obviously they're going to be ready to play. and the Vikings will be ready to play. It's how the Vikings will handle that intensity of Waunakee. I don't want to say it's a source of urgency that they need to play with.
Why don't we do the keys to the game, Will?
Yeah, we have 5:11 left. We have keys. Dan and I came up with some keys to the game, and one of them, well, I will cross off now. I was going to say you would have to slow down Mitch Listow, but now that Listow is out, you got to keep your focus on the other players. So people like Stefan, Nats, Hack, Fisher, Twitters, all those people you need to keep eyes on, and they'll be players who look to carry the load of Mitch Listow, and hopefully they can, because if they don't, it could get ugly. And for our sake, I hope it does, because we're Vikings fans and we don't like Waunakee too much.
I see one of your keys to the game as well is one of my keys to every single game that my dad taught me. So shout out to you, Dad. Free throws are as important as usual, so the Vikings must knock down all or as many as they can of them. And solid bench play from players like Owen Ziegler, Malik Winston, Tyler Kruba, Charlie Fish.
Yeah, like I said, what I have written down here is I don't think any player in existence can say that they played 40 straight minutes of basketball and was not ready to come out. So, like, the point there is solid bench play is ideal. They've gotten very good bench play to this point from Owen Ziegler, Harley Fish, two sophomores, excuse me, in your class, Dan. So I also have two other keys to the game that I thought of myself. One is transition buckets must fall. This is a Waunakee team that's, like you said, Dan, is stacked and loaded with players who can make you pay. And if you get free opportunities like that transition, you don't want to ever give that up. So make transition buckets. And if you do fall in a hole, don't let it get outrageous and to the point where you can't recover. Because as we saw in Beaver Dam, when they got down by 10 plus, they just couldn't, they could chip away at it. They just couldn't come back. And if they do that against Waunakee tonight, that may not be favorable for your Vikings. So that's my key to the game. Dan, you got anything else?
Knock down some threes and free throws, obviously. So, and one thing with transition buckets must be able to fall is, especially on like the 3-on-2 or 2-on-1s, you got to find like the open man.
Exactly, 3-on-2, 2-on-1s,
and hopefully get the easy layup.
A lot of the time when you're running down the court and you have the ball off of the steal, you have adrenaline in your head. You're like, okay, I gotta score. But like you said, Dan, people got to take a breath, calm down, and find the open man, because maybe when you're driving down the court, you're going to get blocked, and that could be a huge momentum swing. We got just about 2 minutes left in this pregame show. We'll take a break and be back with your starting lineups here on Wisco Radio. You've been listening. Don't tune away, folks. We got a great one. As Bryce Hopwood would say, we'll be right back. Welcome back here to Mount Horeb, Wisconsin, as we got a little presentation here of the national anthem brought to you by the Vikings Pep Band. And
Listen away, folks.
We'll let you listen into it. Enjoy.
Always a beautiful job done by Mr. Will Jansen and the Mount Horeb Band. Heavy dose of trumpets there, my former instrument.
Absolutely. What a great job they always do. And as we start we have some starters for not your Waunakee Warriors, for the opposing Waunakee Warriors. Starting at guard, number 2, Will Camp. Nats, I should say. That must be a silent K. And number 3, Dylan Hack, a 6'2" senior. And also a 6'3" junior, Sullivan Schwitters. And number 25, Mason Steffen, that 6'4" senior you were talking about, Dan. And finally, Max Fisher, the 6'2" senior, number 34. And your Mount Horeb Viking starter we got for you tonight. Like usual, Coach Desheim, starting 5. Looks to be the same. Dan, you want to take it away?
Why the heck not? Number 1, the junior, 5'11", Dustin Zenz. The 6'1" senior, number 2, Travis Classy. Your fellow junior, Will, 6'3" sharpshooter, number 3, Bryce Farnsworth. Little Coach Kleppy Farnsworth there. 6'1" junior, number 10, Gunnar Norman. And the 6'3", sorry, I don't know why I said 11 there. Anyway, 6'3" junior, number 11, Jason Larson.
I would take a 6'11" dude any day, Dan. I would say that.
You and me both, Will.
There we go. Let's take a 6'11" guy. And we are set to go here in Mount Horeb. Got a prime-time matchup here for you as Vikings and Warriors. Should be a good one, folks. First and second place in the division and potential play for the crown.
I have a feeling the winner of this game will win the Badger North. Just a little prediction there, Will.
Who wins these games could win the Badger North as the tip is up and controlled by Waunakee. Nats gonna give it a little bounce over to Steffen. Steffen will shimmy shake, driving on Gunnar Norton. Will kick it out to Hack. Hack shot a 3-pointer up, no good. Rebound, Dustin Zenz gets it out to Bryce Farnsworth looking to push. Finds the open man, like you said, Dan. Gunnar Norton, little baseline drive, tough to the hole. Jason Larson up and in. And that is how we start the scoring for the Vikings early tonight. As Steffen gets it to Nats. Nats guarded by Zenz. Gets it back to Steffen. Classy looking for the steal, but Steffen sets his feet, goes up for 3, no good. Rebound Nats, trying to steal it away is Norman. Kicks it out to Schwitters. Gets it back to Nats, who'll jack up a 3. It's off, no good. Rebound Jason Larson. Gunnar Norman gonna trot it across the floor. Looking for a skip pass to Bryce Farnsworth. He can hit it from there, and they know, and Waunakee better know that. Larson looking to go up strong, but they call him for the travel. Good call there by the referees early.
Quick 2-0 start for the Vikings, 1 minute and 10 seconds in. 16:48 and counting left in this first half.
16:48 left and counting, like Dan said. Mount Horeb up 2-0. As Schwitters, guarded by Farnsworth, gets it off to Steffen. Steffen gets a little screen there from Fisher. And Steffen will take it to the hole.
Great little photo there. One of the toughest shots, I believe, in basketball.
So 2-2 game here. That little Waunakee press that we know and do not love. It's Farnsworth to get it across the line. Little crossover move, and he'll turn it over. Waunakee, Steffen got the ball. He'll skip pass up to Nats. Nats will kick it back out to Hack. Hack for three, no good. Tip, and they call an over the back. Maybe, I don't know. So it'll be your Viking ball. 16:01 on the clock. Tie game here. Vikings 2, Warriors 2. Tyler Kruba checked into the game for the Vikings. Jace for Bryce Farnsworth, I believe. And Coach Nessheim really not happy with that turnover. Gunnar Nortman looking to get things set up for the Vikings. Dustin Zenz guarded by Hack. Hack, who has a major size advantage. Gunnar Nortman, little skip pass out to Dustin Zenz. Thought about a three. He'll take it into the lane, and Gunnar Nortman, Jason Larson shuffled the feet. So another turnover, Vikings, and Tyler Kruba taken out, and Bryce Farnsworth immediately checks right back in. So starters are all back in.
Well, you and I were talking before the game that this is going to be one of those games, kind of like an NBA All-Star game. There's either going to be a whole bunch of offense and not a lot of defense, or just all defense and not a lot of scoring. So we'll see which one it is. We're only about 3 minutes into this game, and it's still a 2-2 game as
Steffen missed the jumper, thought he had it, and the ball it finds its way back to Steffen. Little baseline drive by Nats. Steffen gonna think about taking it in the lane, kick it out to Hack. Hack will get it to Schwitter. Gets it back to Nats. He'll get it over to Hack. Hack to Schwitter. Back to Nats. Nats little floater up, no good. Rebound, Jason Larson.
Great rebound there by the junior.
Zen's got it across the court. Vikings looking to set up the offense. Bryce Farnsworth.
He's got baseline wide open if he takes it.
Baseline's wide open, like you said. Thought about taking a little spin move. Gets it back out to Dustin Zenz. They needed to attack that baseline because without that 6'4" senior. Oh, nice cut. And Gunnar Nortman finds the bucket.
Beautiful cut by the junior.
So the Vikings take the lead 4-2. Waunakee with the ball.
Great help defense by Nortman.
Yes, like you said, Dan, great help defense. So Steffen will get it back to Schwitter. Schwitter to Nats. Ooh, nice poke away by Dustin Zenz on Fisher. And Steffen, and offensive foul they call. Moving screen maybe.
As number 21, that would be
number
Kendall Krushek looks to check in, the senior.
Kendall Krushek.
Probably butchered that name, but sorry Waunakee fans if you're listening.
6'3" senior. So add to that height for Waunakee. Zenz will get it into the full court pressure of Waunakee is taken off. And the Vikings with a 2-point lead. Larson gets to Nortman, back over to Zenz. Zenz. A little bump, and they call a bump. Great call there.
Looks like these refs aren't going to let any fouls go uncalled.
Nope. Well, I mean, that is
Waunakee's third in the first.
And one of your fellow sophomores, Dan, checks in. Owen
Ziegler.
Ziegler, you got a little happy there, Dan, and almost knocked everything off the table. So be a little careful there next time.
That would have been bad.
It would have been extremely bad.
I got a little happy there, Will.
Bryce Farnsworth thought about the three. He almost traveled. Good job keeping that pivot foot in position. And Dustin Zenz will kick it out to Gunnar Nortman. Owen Dan was pointing to Owen Ziegler.
Ziegler wide open in the corner. No one's within 10 feet of him. To Farnsworth for
Jack
three.
For three, no good. Rebound by Dustin Zenz among the trees, and they call it a foul on the floor. So Zenz will be shooting one, or is it shooting two? I can't quite.
Two.
Shooting two, like you said.
No offense to the Zenz family, but Zenz is kind of one of those smaller guys.
Well,
weighs a little less, kind of little
smaller, but they play just as tough as other people.
He plays like he's about 7'2". Grabs boards among the trees and
ill-advised little lob pass there. Waunakee looking for a foul as
Waunakee coach Dana McKenzie is not happy.
As Krushek went to hit the deck and they wanted a foul called as Zenz will get it into Kruba. So Zenz got a screen from Farnsworth, picked up his dribble. Farnsworth needs to get open for him as he finds Ziegler.
He's got his left hand open, and it looks like he took it for a second. And little retreat dribble.
Kruba gonna strong drive
to
the hole,
Farnsworth
kicks it out
for
to Farnsworth.
three.
That's his spot. No good. Karam's off Waunakee ball.
These players have got to be just amped playing Waunakee. Someone for the first time like Fish and Ziegler.
And no shot. They call. Foul on the floor.
Mount Horeb's first.
Mount Horeb's first. So Nats almost turned the ball over, and he does turn it over. Vikings don't have numbers. Zen's going to slow it down.
Wise choice.
Wise choice as he takes it to the hole and scores.
I guess he had no intent of slowing it down like you were saying, Will.
Maybe it's not the best idea to listen to me all the times, and that was a good instance of it. Good job taking the roll and not slowing down.
6-2 lead for the Vikings, 11:45 left. Vikings got to keep on this little roll that they're on.
Stefan gets it out to Nats. He'll jack up a three, and he'll nail it.
Looks like it could have almost been a 4-point play there, but the foul went uncalled. I don't know if it was a foul or just a tad bit of acting there by Stefan. But
almost a 4-point play, like you said. Oh, Bryce Farnsworth left open. You know that they know he's struggling a little bit from that three-point line. So 6-5 game. Vikings lead by one. Zenz against.
Got baseline wide open.
Trey Frencher. Owen Ziegler decided not to go baseline, and he'll retreat out. Get it back to Zenz. Back to Ziegler. Gunnar Nortman pleading for that ball. Wanted it down low in the post, and turnover Vikings. Oh, Coach Nussheim's not going to be happy about that.
I'm kind of surprised he's not taking Nortman out. Pass might have just had a little too much oomph on it.
Ness is not happy, and here comes the substitution. Ness is going to have a couple. Oh no, Dustin Zen's not the fault of him on the turnover. So
6-5 game with 11 minutes on the dot to go in this first half.
Dan, we've gone almost 8 minutes here, and 11 points total has been scored.
Looks like it's going to be a major defensive game for both teams.
From the start of it, it certainly looks that way. Kick over to Stefan. He'll do a little crossover move on Nortman, who gets it back to Schwitters. Skip pass over to Kirschman. Back to Stefan. Not Schwitters. Yes, Schwitters. And Stefan will drive tough to the hole, off the rim, no good. Rebounds, fighting for it. Down low is Owen Ziegler, no good. And the shot back up and in by Waunakee is good. And they have taken the lead here 7-6.
This was not one of your keys to the game, Will, but one thing the Vikings really got to do in this game is they got to control the boards. They got to have a they got to grab more boards than Waunakee, and hopefully it'll have a positive result.
Grabbing boards is Coach Nussheim always wants that. Gunnar Nortman going to kick it out to Owen Ziegler. Dan pointing it to him furiously, wanting him to shoot a three. Nice little spin move. Gets it back to Gunnar Nortman. He'll rise up for three, maybe an ill-advised shot. Off the rim, no good. And it'll be Waunakee ball. 7-6 Waunakee, 9:39 left in the first half. Gets down low to Schwitter. Schwitter looking to just get it out of there. little pass over to Kirschman. He'll jack up a three. Up in the air. No good. Rebound by Gunnar Nortman. Good job timing his jump and going up high. Getting that ball. Bryce Farnsworth almost left over.
Thought he was going to shoot that.
Thought he was going to shoot that. He's shown multiple times he can make that. Oh, and Ziegler wide open for three. No good. Back iron. Just short.
Looks like he could have gotten fouled. He hit
Fast
the deck
break
pretty
for
hard.
Steffen, and he puts it in. So Coach Nessheim seen enough, calls a timeout, and it's a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it here, Dan.
Got to give a little football reference for you guys on a Thursday night. Waunakee currently leads by a field goal, 9-6. Sorry about that, Will. Had to
Got to get that football reference.
saw an opportunity and couldn't leave it unattended to.
It's off season, and you still get those football references in. So 9-6, but this has been a grueling first half, a low scoring, and we're almost halfway done with the first half, and it's 9-6 Waunakee. I really don't know what to say, if there is a problem or if this defense has just been stellar. A new look for Waunakee. The only starters in the game is Hack and Steffen. The others, or excuse me, Schwitter's in there as well, but number 0, Josh Cash, and number one, Josh Block is also in. Gunnar Nortman trying to split the defense. Jason Larson, they need to get it across the line. Wide open for Gunnar Nortman, gets it across with ease.
Great,
take it to the
move.
hole. Yeah, that's
Good
a charge,
call.
big time. Gunnar Nortman, that trying to plead his case. That was a charge, big time.
Great job by number 25. Wow, that was an interesting sound, Will. 5. Anyway, great job by Steffen to just hold his ground and not move a muscle to get that charge call and give Waunakee the ball with just under 9 minutes. 9-6 your score.
9-6. Low scoring affair in the first half as Block gets over to
Hounded by
Schwitters.
Zenz.
Hounded by Zenz, like you said. Steffen into the lane. He loves to be there. Steffen will kick it out to Hack. He'll drain a three.
Like we were saying in warm-ups, this team is loaded with shooters.
Loaded. So doubling up on the Vikings is Waunakee right now, and they need a basket, the Vikings do. After a quick start, double teamed. Farnsworth needs to get it across the line. Gets it out to Kruba. Kruba hounded. Gets it back over. Oh, Larson left open. Decides to go baseline. Up and in. Good job by Jason Larson.
When you see the baseline open, you got to take it if you're one of the Vikings. 12-8 your score.
12-8. And another three is launched. In and out. And Cash, or Block, thought he had that all the way.
I probably made this reference last time in the last game, but it was kind of like Butler's shot a few years ago in the tournament. From Gordon Hayward from about half court, heaved it up and rolled out just like that one did for the Warriors.
So the Warriors will inbound it to Cash. Cash get it over to Nats. Schwitter's thought about going, gets it back to Block, or Cash, excuse me. On the floor, foul on Jason Larson. And that is three fouls in the first half, and just like that, Steffens gets it into Nats, who's nice cut up, no good. Tipped up in the air by Farnsworth, gets it back to Nats. Skip pass over to Cash, thought about a three, skips it back over to Nats, to Hack, to Steffen. Down the lane, tough drive, up, floater off the bank, in. Bank is open for Steffen.
If I'm not mistaken here, the Warriors are on a 12-2 run. I believe it was 6-2. So Vikings really need to find a few shots.
Thumbs up, or a possession favors the Vikings, so it'll be Vikings ball. Down 6, excuse me. Oh, that's embarrassing. Can't do some mental math in my head.
It's all good, Will. We forgive you. Praise you. Every listener out there forgives you.
Down 6, and the Vikings just can't buy a bucket here.
Looks like Charlie Fish checked in.
Charlie Fish, the talented and athletic sophomore. Looking at a tough drive, kicks it out to Larson. He thought about a three. A tough drive to the hole, no good. That'll be shooting two. So good job by Larson getting himself to the line. And he'll have a chance for two. And try to get it back to to only 4.
First free throw is
First free
up.
throw is up and good.
Money.
Money.
Nothing but twine, as me and my pops like to say.
Nothing but twine. So Larson from second is up, no good, and rebound controlled by the Warriors. So 1 of 2 from the line by Larson. As Witter gets it to Stefan and gets it to Hack, who'll jack up a 3, no good. Rebound by Tyler Kruba. Gets out to Zenz. Zenz will march it across the floor, gets it to Classy, to Larson, who nice shot fake, baseline drive. Retreats out of it and gets it back to Kruba. He'll jack up a 3. We know he can make these, no good. And Waunakee rebound. Stefan gets it out to Schwitter. He'll jack up a 3 and he'll make it. Waunakee just money from outside of the 3-point line.
Looking like we're going to have a little NBA three-point contest for you guys here. Both teams looking like they're hit.
Dustin Zenz needs to get it across the line. Just splits the defense. It's to Charlie Fish. Gets it down low to Classy. Little bounce. One fake, no good. Waunakee the rebound. And this is a point where they smell blood. They can go up by 10 here. And like I said in the pregame, the Vikings don't want to go down by 10 as the three-point shot is up, no good. And it'll be Vikings ball. So 5:53 left. First half.
Very low scoring, just like the JV game.
Very low scoring indeed. So Vikings 9, Warriors 17. Zenz gets it into Farnsworth. Ooh, nice cutting.
Got it cutting Travis Classy.
Trying to Travis Classy up and in. So good job by Classy getting quick points, and the deficit is
down to 6.
Now down to 6. Just checking for those on the live stream if everything is okay. So 11-17 game as Nats and foul called on the floor.
I believe the Vikings have 4 fouls in about the last 4 or 5 minutes. So went quite a while without a single foul and been racking them up late as of late.
Yeah, like you said, Dan, they've been racking them up. And
blanked out there for a sec. Jason Larson checks in for Gunnar Nortman. A couple of juniors, one junior checking in for another.
Good steal by Dustin Zenz. He'll look to push it, and Larson will go up strong to the hole and in. And this deficit is getting smaller and smaller, Dan.
4 points now. Technically a one-possession game, although a lot of people don't call it a one-possession game.
Zenz guarding Nats. Sorry about that. Cash gets it to Krushek. Stefan just backing his way, having his way with Classy, as Cash trying to take Jason Larson. Way to stay up and use the baseline. Oh, nice block by Dustin Zenz. And Cash got away with the push-off. And Jason Larson pumped up. Vikings looking for a swing here.
Was Larson called for that? Nope.
Nope.
I thought Larson was called for the foul. He looked a little in disbelief.
Larson wasn't called for the foul. And Zenz will lob it up to Bryce Farnsworth. And the Vikings will look to cut into this lead even more. Fish gets it back to Farnsworth. Farnsworth to Zenz. Kicks it out to Larson. He'll jack up a 3. No good. And rebound by Waunakee. Stefan looking to push. Doesn't have numbers. He'll take it. Pop. And he won't hit. Fight for the rebound. And foul called on Charlie Fish.
I believe that was a good call.
You know, Dan, as a homer, I would probably disagree, but that was a good call.
Looked like Fish got a tiny bit of arm, and that's probably what the refs were.
Tiny bit of arm. Like I said in the pregame show, Dan, they're looking at those arms, looking for contact for potential and one situations as Locke gets it to Hack, to Stefan. Kicks it out to Nats. Nats little baseline. Playing a little hot potato down there on the baseline were the Warriors and the Vikings. So will Nats like the first team, not the team? will inbound it to Steffen. As he'll try to drive on Classy, little switch. And nice baseline drive by Nats. He'll get Fish airborne, draw the foul. And he'll be at the line shooting 2. Will Nats. The 6-foot junior, and he is money on the first shot.
Blocking out the Nessie's nut house distraction. Something that's hard to do as a free throw shooter. Knock out, just block out all the distractions.
Nessie's nut house does like. Nessie's nut house, loud as usual.
Loud and proud, like the banner says.
Loud and proud, as I just got notifications that the ads should sound normal. So when we go to break, whenever that is, it should sound normally. As Nats hits a pair, lead back up to 6. 4:06 left in the first half. Ziegler checked in for the Vikings, and Zen's looking to get help. He'll get it across the court, breaking that defense. Nice little spin move as Ziegler calling for that ball. Looking to get it low, like screen, double team. Travis Classy left
Beautiful
open,
pass.
takes over.
Great ball movement.
Gets it back to Farnsworth. 4-3, up in the air, short, no good. Unfavorable bounce for Farnsworth, and
a reaching foul call on Classy.
Reaching foul called on Classy.
Sending number 3, Dylan Hack, to the line.
Thank you, Dan.
For, I believe, a 1-and-1. And money on the first. Gotta love these distractions sometimes, Will.
They make me laugh, and whether it's for the Vikings or not, that is funny. As Hack is money from the free throw line, pushing that lead 21-13 Warriors. As soon as we thought Vikings were cutting into that lead, here come the Warriors.
Waunakee really proving that they're a pretty darn solid free throw shooting team.
Larson needs to get it across. Ness calls a timeout. Good job getting a timeout in. They call a full timeout, and we'll take one with them.
We'll be right back. And welcome back here to Mount Horeb High School, a 21-13 game with just under 3.5 minutes left. Will, I'll let you take it over there.
I'll take it back from you, Dan. The Vikings looking to get into that deficit as Ziegler, the talented sophomore, has got the ball back. And Farnsworth hounded.
Great
nice
pass.
back cut by Jason Larson.
Great basketball right there. Great back cut, great find.
Beautiful back cut. So 15-21, 6-point deficit for the Vikings. Need to play some stellar defense here. Hack with the ball. And, a little home run pass almost went out of bounds for block. Get it to Steffen. Steffen will set his feet. Jack up a 3 off the back iron. No good. Rebound, Jason Larson.
Great rebound there by Larson. Snagging it with one hand and pulling it down with the other.
Farnsworth thought about getting it down low to Ziegler. He'll get it to Ziegler. Get it back to Farnsworth. He'll get it to Zenz. Gets it back to Classy. Classy down low to Ziegler. Goes up. No foul called. Wow.
Looked like he was straight up to me there.
But usually when the player leans into it, they're asking for a foul to be called. And foul going the other way. So
Little evening out, I guess.
Little, like my dad and I like to say when we're watching a football game, that may be a little makeup call there. So Zenz, look, the full court pressure back on. So number 0, Josh Cash will check in as Farnsworth could have a home run pass to Travis Classy, but didn't know if he could get it over there on time. And Travis Classy, like I said, who has the ball, he's open. Will skip past to Jason Larson, intercepted by Josh Block.
Read the kind of like a cornerback. Read the eyes of the passer and just picked it off.
Cash calling for that ball. A little block by Justin Zenz. A little pirouette spin move to get away from the defender. And Jason Larson was open for a second. Gets it over to Farnsworth. He's going to find a cutting. Travis Classy goes up strong. No good. And rebound.
21-15 game with minute 28 seconds and
out of bounds.
Ticking.
Mount Horeb ball. So 1:28 left, Dan, in the first half. An extremely low scoring first half. One that we're not accustomed to. And Dustin Zenz will get it in too. Bryce Farnsworth, that full court pressure on, and Travis, they break it with ease. Had it cutting Jason Larson, now gets it to him. Maybe a little late. Owen Ziegler calling for that ball. They were going to do a skip pass screen. Nice little baseline cut. And Larson calling for that ball, but Steffen, he's going to hound him all night. And Larson, he'll drive, get it back out, trying to get that offense set. They're trying to get Owen Ziegler.
Classy's got a huge baseline right here.
They're trying to get Owen Ziegler. He's got a baseline, but they cut him off. Bryce Farnsworth kicks it out to Larson.
Great
he thought about
touch
the
pass.
three. He'll jack it up. No good. Just short. And Waunakee may try to kill this clock and take the last shot of the first half.
Vikings aren't like their usual self. I don't think, unless I'm going crazy, Will, which could very well be, I don't think the Vikings have a single made three, which is not usual for this Vikings team.
To be honest, I can't remember if they made a three or not, Dan. And offensive foul called against Waunakee. So 23.5 seconds left.
Could cut it down to a 3-point game here.
Could cut it down to a 3-point game. Maybe more or maybe less.
Could be maybe more, actually. 4-point play. Crazier things have happened in basketball.
But you would say less because the lead would be less.
Oh, good point.
Zenz trots it across the floor, gets it to Larson. So they're looking just to take the final shot of the first half. As nice little crossover move by Larson. Timeout or 5 seconds. In 5 seconds, I don't want to say I disagree with that because I didn't see the call.
I believe if the player has the ball in like a certain area for 5 more seconds, they call that, and I didn't think.
Steffen's just going to have to heave up. Oh, no, he get himself open. Shot for 3. No, but a foul. A foul before the buzzer, so Steffen will have 3 shots, and that is going to drive Ness crazy.
Doesn't look like it.
So untimed shot for Steffen, who's been very good this half, and this is just this is brutal. This is demoralizing because the Vikings can't do anything about it. This is 3 points that could be going on the board for Waunakee as an unfavorable bounce for Steffen.
How many times did that hit the rim, Will? 5 or 6 probably?
I'd say about 86. So Steffen, air ball city. Oof. And he heard it all from Nessie's Nuthouse there. And we have a break here. We'll be right back here with some halftime analysis as the Vikings are only down 7 at halftime. The score is 22-15, a low-scoring affair in the first half. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Mount Horeb, Wisconsin, as the Vikings in a 7-point hole at halftime. Dan, it looked before that it could have been more of a...
Could have been 9.
Could have been more of a deficit, because we thought at a time this may get away from the Vikings, but they were persistent. They stayed with it, and from the looks of it, Dan, we have a bunch of news stations around here for this game, and a potential Mike Jocks from NBC 15, a wild Mike Jocks was seen. Maybe, if my eyes don't deceive me. But nevertheless, we will have the second half next. But Dan, some halftime stats from this. We as the Vikings, we don't think we've seen a solid 3-point shot go down, and
quite unusual for the Vikings. Usually Farnsworth has hit 1 or 2 by now, maybe Ziegler with 1.
Yeah, absolutely, Dan. I mean, there was a thing that you said in the pregame show, a key to the game. You wanted the Vikings to knock down threes, and from right now, they haven't. And that has really been the name of the game, because look at what they have right now. They knock down a couple threes. They make this deficit less than what it is. And maybe this will be a little bit more manageable game. I mean, I'm not saying that the game is over, because a 7-point lead can go away just like that, like the snap of a finger.
Couple of threes and a layup or something would get you down by 1, and that could happen in 3 possessions. Actually,
Dan, a couple of threes and a layup would give you the lead, but you know, I don't want to blame you. I had a little mental math error earlier in the game. 6:44 left of our little halftime show we got here. I assume they'll add more to the end. And tonight it seems like it's just an alumni night, as a lot of colleges are still on winter break. I have spotted a wild Ryan Milbreath over in the band section, a former Mount Horeb tuba player. So shout out to my man Ryan. And so Dan, back to basketball. This half has been a grueling half for the Vikings, as we've seen the Vikings put up 57 points per game, and unless they absolutely turn it on in the second half, it does not look like they're going to do that today. And for Waunakee, this is also unusual, because they're used to scoring 70 points a game.
The Vikings doing a great job containing. Of course, they're losing about 24 points a game with Listow out, but
so for the most part, yes, they're down 7, but you have to be happy with that, knowing that you're keeping such an explosive offense to only 22 points in the first half. Obviously, Coach Ness, I'm not happy that he's down 7, but I'm sure that any day he would take only giving Waunakee 22 points in the first half, because we know how explosive they are, Dan, and we know they'll put up easily 50 points every game if they had to.
And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Waunakee won the state championship last year in basketball. I know they did for football, so they did not.
I believe they were runners-up.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
And
anyway, runners-up for a state. Holding them to 22 points and a half that's a win in itself.
Holding them to 22 points and a half, like I said, is a win. And the Vikings haven't gotten to the free throw line much in the large part of. Excuse me. Waunakee just wasn't fouling much. They say
fouls have reset, but I believe they had about 6 fouls, 6 or 7.
Just about 6 or 7, so about a little even in the foul department for the Vikings and Warriors, I would say. A little interesting here. Dan, we talked about how free throws can win or lose a game, and ideally we want the Vikings to make every free throw, but if you are going to miss them in the first half.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the Vikings are 1 for 4 or 2 for 5, somewhere in that area.
I think they may be 1 for 2. And the only free throws maybe attempted were Jason Larson. I could be wrong with that.
But anyway, my point being is I believe we're around 86% for the season. So that's quite a big deficit in percentage points there. So Vikings really got to start knocking down some free throws in the second half.
Yeah, knocking down free throws and also knocking down threes. We need those three-pointers because we know the Vikings have an explosive three-point shooting team. And to see them lack and struggle that much is pretty strange. And all I can say is it's strange not seeing Farnsworth or Ziegler
knock down a couple of trays.
Because we know that they can. And we're not knocking on them saying that they're in a slump. We know that they can shoot three-pointers. We know that they can hit half-court shots. They can make a shot from about anywhere on the court. It's just, it's a little unusual seeing them not knock them down. And yes, this is a little tougher play in Waunakee, but this just seems like it's kind of a usual thing as the varsity band look to cheer their Vikings on to make a comeback to it.
Little story time for you guys, if that's completely okay, Will. I believe it was like 8th grade. Vikings were down 2 in Oregon, and Owen Ziegler knocked down a half-quarter for the win. So, real cool story for you guys that he keeps telling me whenever he has multiple 3 games.
That's a nice story, and I wonder why he keeps telling me that story. I have no idea why he would keep telling me that. Not a clue in my mind.
I mean, he's a straight shooter, so
I'm just kidding.
You never know.
I know exactly why he keeps reminding you of that. And so, Dan, they're going to add more time to the halftime clock. We know that.
As I believe Listow made the trip.
Listow made the trip, as did Carter. 2 significant injuries for the Warriors. And they're still up 7 at halftime against your Mount Horeb Vikings.
Losing, you would imagine, about 30 a game because Carter, as we keep saying, Listow averages almost 24 a game. You would imagine Carter's in like the 8 to 9 range. That's 30-ish points lost for the Warriors, as one of the news channels goes by the student section. Maybe some of my amigos will be on the news tonight. I'll have to watch that.
Maybe Dan will be on the news.
You never know, Will.
Hopefully we will be on the news.
I will be one happy child if that is the case.
I made my hair look very good today, and it hasn't looked this well in a long time. So I think I would benefit from a little TV time.
Doesn't look half bad, but I'm not going to lie right now.
Doesn't look half bad. Even with the headset on, my hair right now looks pretty darn good. Well, we got 56 seconds, so it looks like they won't add time to the clock. I stand corrected. 50 seconds left, Dan. What are some adjustments the Vikings need to do to pull out this victory?
Got to knock down free throws, as we were saying. Got to knock down threes once again, as we were saying. And they're playing defense really pretty darn well for allowing 22 points and a half. Of course, they only scored 15, but still allowing under 25 points and a half is a little accomplishment in itself. So we'll see what the Vikings can do to turn this game around in the second half.
Like you said, Dan, knocking down threes and free throws could mean the game for the Vikings. And we don't usually say that it's desperation, because it's not. It's not desperation right now. They have 18 minutes left, 18 minutes of basketball to play. And Waunakee will start with the ball. Vikings down 7, and it all starts on defense for the Vikings. They need to cut into that deficit early.
Looks like Nortman, Ziegler, Classy, Larson, and Farnsworth are starting the second half. Well, I'm pretty proud of myself. I did that all from memory.
So not your usual starters in for the Vikings, as Nats will get it over to Schwitter. Schwitter gets it back to Nats. Looking to go down low to Max Fisher. Skips it over to Hack. Gets it down low to Schwitter. They look to just get Steffen open, because Steffen's been unstoppable in this first half. Gets it back to Steffen, the three-point shot, like I said, on cue, and it's good.
Will, I found one more alumnus. I found Quinn Lazar sitting about right across from us, along with his dad and either sister or mom. I can't tell from this far. Quite a player Lazar was. Remember,
quite a player, and a three-point shot by Jason Larson.
First three of the night, if I'm not mistaken.
The answer's back to your three-point shot. Well, and a reach-in foul on Bryce Farnsworth.
Is not believing the call one bit.
He's not believing it one bit. That was a great call.
Personally, I saw all ball, but the refs are down on the court, and they saw otherwise. So I'm gonna agree with their call and trust they made the right
Get
call.
it down low to Stefan, looking to make a post move on Classy. Up short, no good. Norman fights for the ball and gets the rebound. Ziegler.
Larson's
Larson
wide
was
open.
open. Nice cut by Ziegler. Kick it out to Farnsworth. Thought about a three. Decided not to take it. Little baseline move. Gets it. Ooh, had a Owen Ziegler. Gets it back to Larson. Larson trying to get it into Norman, who's fighting for post position. Larson gets it to Classy. Classy at the Vikings, little Vikings logo there on the sideline. Gets it back to Ziegler. Ziegler gets it back to Classy.
Will, as we were saying, we keep wanting the Vikings to drive baseline, but our own Brad Richardson says Waunakee plays an up-the-line defense, so they want us to go baseline, which is why Mount Horeb isn't taking the bait. So shout out to our very own Brad Richardson for the quite helpful info.
Thanks, Brad, and we know that we heard word that Brad is home with a little illness, so we hope you
feel better, Brad.
Feel better, Brad, and thanks for the information and helping us stay on top of it here as Stefan, they're chanting air ball, and I know Miss Nessheim, the athletic director, Colleen Nessheim, will
much
not
to
be
the
happy
chagrin of
And
Nessheim.
Bryce Farnsworth checks up a three, and it's good!
We knew he wasn't going to go scoreless from downtown tonight, and there it is. Will, I've developed a new name for Farnsworth and Ziegler. I have Owen, Stefan Kerr, Ziegler, and I'm going to call Farnsworth.
Ooh, nice job timing his jump, did Gunnar Nortman. And Owen Ziegler, almost lost control of the ball. Gets it back. Gets it to Classy. Classy kicks it out to turnover.
I'm going to call Farnsworth Bryce Clay Thompson Farnsworth because Owen and Bryce are partners in crime when it comes to drilling threes, and so are Steph and Clay. So,
as the Nessies Nothouse was harassing Schwitter.
There's one more NBA analysis for you guys.
And they're going to be chanting air ball whenever Stefan gets the ball. And skip pass over to Schwitter, a little baseline J, no good. Timing the rebound was Larson, but didn't get it. And Stefan will go to the corner to Fisher. Not a three-point threat, gets it to Schwitter, who is. And Nats will get the ball to Hack. Hack gets it to Stefan. Stefan to Nats. Taking a bunch of time off, back to Schwitter, looking to get offense set, guarded by Farnsworth, little handoff to Stefan. Stefan, guarded by Zenz, gets it back, and Nats going baseline, swatted away by Classy.
Volleyball spiked it.
And turnover, Waunakee. Vikings don't have numbers, so Farnsworth will slow it down. Good job by him getting it to Zenz. Zenz gets it over to Larson, almost a little confusion there with Nortman. Larson, a little drive, shimmy, shake, trying to go baseline, little baseline J is good.
Looking into the game, I realized Owen Ziegler checked out. I believe Jason Larson checked in for him, but don't quote me on it, ladies and gentlemen.
Jason Larson did not check in. He was in there from the beginning. So
darn it.
I correct you, Dan.
Do you know who it was, Will?
No, but okay. I know Jason was in the game.
That's why I said don't quote me.
As Nats thought about the three, he'll kick it over to Hack. He'll take the three off short, no good. Classy mistimed his jump a little bit as the air ball chance go back to Nats for three off the back iron, no good. Classy times his jump right this time and knocks it into the waiting hands of
streaking Classy.
And shot up, no good. Foul was not called. Ref says the hands were up.
Classy a little slow to get up. Might have been a little banged up on that.
Gets it to Hack. Hack kicks it out to Stefan. Stefan going to try to drive it on Nortman. Nortman not giving up any position until late, and Stefan go to the rack, no good. Has a streaking Classy, but Farnsworth didn't see him. He was wide open.
Would have had an easy layup. Larson, no good on the jumper. To Zenz, to Farnsworth from
wide
downtown.
Open for three,
Money.
And it's good. Farnsworth for three.
Vikings have the lead, 26-25 with just over 13 minutes left. This crowd is going absolutely crazy, and I'm pretty sure Farnsworth will make the news on that one tonight.
And a foul called, a little ticky-tack foul. But the Vikings with
Tyler
the lead.
Krubal looking to check in for Travis Classy, senior for senior.
So Dan, at the break, we were talking about how Farnsworth and Larson and Zenz and all these players need to knock down threes, and right now,
Farnsworth has
Farnsworth
two quick
back-to-back threes. As block, get the ball over to Crusher, who gets it to Step, or Kushek, excuse me, I butchered that name. Frencher gets it into Schwitter, who kicks it out to Crusher, or I keep butchering that name, I'm sorry. Schwitter gets it to Block, back to Kreshek, or Kreshek, to back over, skip pass to Stefan. Stefan trying to drive, excuse me. This Mount Horeb defense playing solid. Kreshek trying to get it to Block. This Mount Horeb defense is playing stifling. And
great defensive stand regardless of the Jason Larson foul.
Great defensive stand, but a foul.
Probably on defense, what would you say, 30, 45 seconds, Will?
30, 45 seconds at most, I would say. That was amazing.
Charlie Fish looking to check in for Jason Larson. Sorry, folks, I'm a little excited because we have the lead. 12-12 left, 26-25. Your Mount Horeb Vikings are in the lead.
Lob pass into Stefan. Gets it back to Block. Thought about a three. Gets it to Stefan. Stefan thought about a three, excuse me. Cash. Get it down low to number 12, Francher, who goes strong post move up in. Waunakee retakes the lead.
Great job using the glass there. A little kiss off the glass, as Bill Rafter would say. One of my favorite all-time announcers. Little smooch.
And Fish, who just checked into the game. Strong drive to the hole, no good. They call a block. Great call.
Waunakee's first foul in just about 7 minutes, 7 minutes.
So Charlie Fish at the free throw line trying to get himself on the board tonight.
Regain the lead if you're the Vikings.
Regain the lead indeed. And Charlie Fish, first free throw, that looked awkward out of the hands, no good. So Fish just trying to tie it up. Fish, second free throw, looked a little good adjustment. Bangs it home.
Whatever it takes to go in, Will, that's what I like to say.
I pressed the timeout button on my little scoreboard app here. So 27-27, 11:30 left in the game to Kershak. Kershak gets it to Cash. Cash to Block. Guarded by Farnsworth. Gets it back to Kershak, or Block, or Cash, excuse me. Kicks it out to number 12, Francher. Down low, shot up, no good. Stefan timing his jump and beautifully putting it back up and in. And Kruba will get it, kick out of bounds.
Field goal is good, Will.
Field goal is good.
Through the doors there. Sorry, folks, I'm missing football right now.
Missing football, Dan is missing football.
Yours truly misses football with a passion right now.
Misses football.
What I would do for Friday Night Lights.
What he would do. Finds a cutting Tyler Kruba. Good job kicking it back out. Justin Zenz. He'll take a three. And off the iron, no good.
This place would have went insane if he would have made that.
Cash thought about it. Oh, nice. Not a nice job. The foul is going against Waunakee. It'll be Viking ball. And that press of Waunakee will be put back on.
Vikings haven't really been able to seem to break the press tonight, which is kind of surprising.
They haven't been able to break the press, Dan, but they have spun out of it many times.
Just barely getting it over the timeline a few times. Zen's almost looking for the home run pass. Gets it into Fish, poked away. Mount Horeb ball.
The ref down there is he just shook his head. No, that's Mount Horeb ball. He said to the Waunakee player, and that was funny because he knew. And they just need to get a player open. Zen's good job calling a timeout. So Vikings down 2. Good job cutting into that deficit to start this second half.
30-second timeout. We will keep it right here.
30 seconds, so we'll keep it here, Dan. Good job. Good second half adjustment so far by the Vikings. Knocking down a bunch of, I don't want to say a bunch, but knocking down a couple threes and making this game a 2-point game. At the point, 1 point, we had a lead. And
I believe it was 6-2 at one point. And now Mount Horeb is down 29-27, 10:38 left in this ball game.
10:38 left in the ball game, like Dan said. Vikings are inbounding it. They, over the past, literally seconds, they struggled getting the ball in because of this brutal defense. They need to just get the ball in, kick ball, and they're just going to keep with this press. The Vikings cannot crack this press.
That's one thing Coach Nessheim is really going to be drilling into this team is we got to break this press.
Get it to Ziegler. Or they get it to Kruba. They'll double team him. And get it to Zenz. Zenz will get it across the court. And get it to Kruba. Man, they are getting hounded. Classy 4-3. No good. Rebound tapped out. Controlled by Block. Get over. Little Euro step. Oh, that's a charge all the way.
Great call. Kruba, I was watching him race back. He just sprinted back on defense like any coach wants to see you do. And took the charge and sacrificed his body and for a good cause.
Oh, what a pass by Tyler Kruba. Found, nice little Euro step by Jason Larson, and he puts it up and in. Wow.
Great. That's one of those things in basketball where you got to make the defender on a 2-on-1 fast break decide which person to guard. And if he guards the guy with the ball, then just dish it off to the open guy. And if he guards the open guy, you have an easy layup.
Easy layup indeed. Almost poked it away. Did Farnsworth on Stefan. The ball not in. Oh, poked away, and Kruba collects it, and the Vikings will have a chance for the lead. Little strong pass. Classy. Oh, Zenz wide open for three. Off the short, no good. Classy, the rebound. Oh, no. Missed opportunity for the Vikings. And Coach
would have had an easy 2 points there for the Vikings.
Coach,
just a little too much oomphda on the pass. Is that a word, Will?
Too much oomphda? It may not be a word.
I invented it, Will.
The oomphda pretzel from the Grumpy Troll, one of our sponsors here at Wisco Radio, which is a delicious pretzel, by the way.
Too much oomph on it. There we go.
Too much oomph. Tied ball game, 29, a low-scoring affair. Stefan going to work in the post, and the ball remains Warrior ball. And Farnsworth will check in for Kruba.
Nortman looked a little banged up. Looks like he's favoring his left knee.
Favoring his left knee, like Dan said he is.
Not a good thing, because if he's a righty, that means he's jumping off his left foot most of the time.
Yeah.
So that may not be good.
Yeah, he needs the extra push off of the ground, and without that left foot, he won't be able to get far. So a little lob pass in. Didn't know where that was going exactly. Gets it into Fisher. Gets it to Nats. Gets it back to Fisher.
Double team by Ziegler.
Double team by Ziegler, like you said, gets it down to Schwitter. Schwitter going to try to go baseline. They kick it out to Cash. Nice, poked away by Gunnar Nortman. Great defense indeed.
It would have been amazing if he could have came up with the steal. And
9 spot on the clock, tied game. Schwitter.
We'll have one heck of a finish here, Will.
Stole the ball from Nats. Little double team. Stolen by Classy. He's got numbers. Takes it himself. They call it a block. Great call. I thought they were going to call a charge, but those feet weren't set, and good call by the referee.
Boy, I would not want to be a referee, Will. That would not be an easy job.
I wouldn't want to be a referee in this kind of game, Dan. There is so much hype surrounding it, and you know people will boo you.
Looks like Dustin Zenz is getting ready to check in for Owen Ziegler.
Dustin Zenz ready to check in for Owen Ziegler. Steph Curry Ziegler.
That's my name for him, Will. You're stealing my name.
And Classy rattles home a free throw, so Vikings retake the lead.
30-29 game with just under 9 minutes left. Classy's second free throw is coming up.
Second
it is
free
up.
Throw is up, and money. Vikings ahead by 2.
Great job by the Vikings. They're down 15-22 at the half, and now they're up 31-29.
Oh, nice job forcing the turnover. Ball on the deck. Who's coming up with it?
Jump ball. That's going to Mount
ball.
Horeb.
Possession. Vikings.
Great job getting on the floor and sacrificing your body, getting a little floor burn. Those hurt, Will.
Little raspberries, my father would call it. They may hurt, but it may determine.
It's all worth it in the end.
It's all worth it in the end. just like you said, back off the pressure here. So Zenz will just walk it across the court here. 8:34 left in the game. The Vikings ahead by 2 and looking to add more. Doesn't get it to Farnsworth. Larson in the corner.
Classy's wide open in the left corner.
Classy's wide open. Classy not the biggest three-point threat, but they know he can knock it down. As Nortman will skip pass over to Larson. Thought about the three. He'll step back. Get it to Zenz.
Had
a cutting Classy. Goes up, in, and the Vikings are ahead by 4.
Say that 5 times fast. Well, cutting Classy.
Cutting Classy scored the basket and put the Vikings up 4.
33-29 with 7:50 and ticking.
As Classy is guarding block. Gets it to Cash. Cash double teamed. A little taste of their own medicine here by Waunakee.
In a way, he was triple teamed. He had the baseline as almost another defender. The baseline closest to us, so he was almost triple teamed. Classy, the baseline, and I believe Nortman came in.
A little 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it here. Waunakee getting a little taste of their own medicine. Vikings double teaming them a lot. They're not used to that, I would say, Dan. They're often getting away from giving the Vikings the fits about these double teams. So Waunakee ball when they inbound it. And Steffen's already. So Nats will inbound it. My guess is they're going to try to lob it up to Steffens, which they lob it up to Fisher instead. Fisher will hand it off to Hack, excuse me, not Cash. Nats over to Fisher. Screen.
Larson coming out to defend.
Steffens.
Beautiful floater
is up.
Getting a little lucky roll there, but whatever it takes to go in, Will.
A little ricochet romance there for Steffen.
Ricochet romance. I've never heard that one.
A spin move and a turnover. Wow.
Farnsworth just looked like he wasn't ready for the pass.
And not entirely Farnsworth's fault. A little low pass there would have been hard to come in. So Steffen look to try to tie this game up again. Man, Dan, this is a back and forth game.
Gamer runs like a lot of them for the Vikings have been so far.
Steffen to the hole, up, no good. Classy rebound, gets to Zenz. Ooh, Nats may have gotten away with a little poke there on Zenz. But Zenz will march it. Nice little drive to the hole, little teardrop. Floater is good.
Beautiful floater. I just said that a couple of possessions ago for Waunakee, but floaters are a really tough shot, and this Vikings crowd is going crazy.
So Steffen, a little baseline drive, kick it out to Hack. 3-point shot, no good. Timed rebound by Fisher, no good. Rebound Jason Larson.
Great rebound there, just grabbing the ball and getting it away from the Warrior defenders.
Vikings ahead by 4, looking to add to it. Zenz, quick drive, kick it out to Farnsworth. He hit a shot from that point there. Nortman. Oh, had a cutting Classy. I don't know why Nortman didn't get it to him. Nortman back to Larson. Little baseline drive. Floater up, no good. Rebound Waunakee. So a missed opportunity for the Vikings to add to their 4-point lead. Skip pass to Nats. 3-point shot is up. Air ball, no good. Off Waunakee player. Viking ball. 5:48 left in the second half. Vikings up by 4.
Owen Ziegler looks to check in for Travis Classy.
So a 3-point threat.
Got a couple of them on the floor right now.
A couple with Farnsworth, Larson, Ziegler. All of the players on the court right now can knock down threes, but those players that I just said are known to knock them down. As the press will back off and Zenz will, as soon as I say they back off, they get it open to Farnsworth. He'll jack up a 3. That's his spot, and it's good!
Bryce Farnsworth for 3.
And they're going to regret leaving him that wide open. 38-31 Vikings. Steffen, drive to the hole, up, no good. Rebound by Schwitzer, and almost an and one. So Schwitzer will be at the line. trying to cut into this Vikings lead. And Dan, how many times have we said that tonight that Waunakee was trying to cut into the Vikings lead? Probably none. Shot no good.
Not quite sure what the Mount Horeb students are chanting, but you never know, students nowadays, Will.
I heard the word sausage.
I like sausage, Will.
Breakfast sausage is yummy. So Schwitzer doesn't make any of them, but a rebound Waunakee.
Looked like Nortman was going down court for an easy layup.
Easy layup, but need to stay home on defense. Nortman getting that handout for defense.
Not
Steffen,
giving up an inch.
Not giving an inch for Steffen. Nats, three-point shot. That looks straight on. Air ball, and it's going the other way. Held on Fisher, and Fisher is just laughing. He's laughing at it. And I couldn't see from this direction.
I didn't see it either.
But to me, that didn't look like a foul. And Ziegler is double teamed. Back to Zenz. Oh, almost called for over in the back.
So wide open Larson.
Larson for three, and it's good. It is good.
10-point lead for the Vikings. I honestly am not gonna lie. I didn't think we were saying that. And Mount Horeb this gym is just so loud
this
right now.
This gym is rocking. And three-point shot. The answer is no good. Rebound by Gunnar Nortman.
Warriors just can't get anything to fall.
Can't buy a basket. Jason Larson trying to go 2 from 2. Right to the basket. I can dunk it. And no. They call a charge.
Looks like he was going to dunk on him.
Wow. This place was about to go nuts. Wow. Oh my.
I'm pretty sure if they had a reviewing
wow.
system thingy that they would be reviewing that.
Ness is not happy, and he needs to be careful. They don't want to call a tackling. Oh my.
Larson's trying to fire his team back up, and this place is going nuts once again.
Steffen almost lost the ball. Farnsworth not giving up an inch. Double teamed on Fisher. Fisher trying to bang down low. They call a block. 2.2 shots. Wow. Oof. This place
is dead now.
Is dead. If Larson would have made that jam, wow, was this place, this roof was about to blow off as the first free throw is no good. Fisher missing from the free throw line, and the Warriors cannot buy a basket as Classy will check in for Ziegler. And here come the chants, the boos, the everything. They don't want Fisher to make a free throw as Cash will go down low. Zenz directs Larson. He's going to take the shooter. 4:37 left. Vikings up by 10 as Fisher's at the free throw line. He misses both of them, and Classy will get the rebound. He'll set things up, gets it back to Zenz.
I was about to have a heart attack if Classy didn't grab that. That could have been very bad for
Vikings playing with a 10-point lead here, looking to add more. Classy, little baseline
wisely
drive.
Bring it back out. Great decision by the senior, showing off wisdom.
That senior intelligence. Kicks it out to Larson. And the Vikings crowd trying to get into it. Nortman. As we have some Vikings alumni standing up, trying to get this crowd into it, and a timeout called. Not sure by who. Full timeout by the Vikings. We'll take a timeout with them.
As Bryce Hopwood used to say, we'll be right back.
Welcome back to Wisco Radio. I tried to get you back in as soon as possible. Vikings playing with a 10-point lead. Ooh, Gunnar Nortman.
Great job splitting the double team.
Travel called on Jason Larson, who's been playing amazing.
I'm just hoping, I just have a sneaking suspicion, Will, that it's going to be like a 10-0 run for the Warriors, and we'll be back in a tie game. I don't know what's making me feel that way, but it feels like the momentum's going towards the Warriors.
Momentum may be in the Warriors' favor if they knock down this three. Shot is up, no good. Rebound, Classy. Phew. Farnsworth being hounded by Fisher. Nice little crossover move. They need to call it. They need to get it across. A little poked away. Recovered by Waunakee. Stefan will stick back for three. It's good. What a crazy sequence for Waunakee there. A push.
That's what I think the call was, Will.
So
that was kind of a nice move, though, by Stefan.
To set his feet.
And just nail the three. He had a wide open lane, though, so I'm pretty sure any coach would take 3 points over 2.
Nortman. Fouled on the drive. And he'll go to the line. Getting ready to shoot 2.
Looking around this gym, it doesn't look like there's many spots open.
Hey, Dan, yes, I'm just going to say, I don't care of the out. I mean, obviously, I want a Vikings win. But this game has been unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. I completely agree with you. Vikings only allowing 12 points this half.
Oh, my. A little ricochet romance.
I'm going to say this again, guys. Whatever it takes to go in. We'll take the points however it goes in.
Whatever it takes, indeed.
8-point lead for the Vikings, 42-34, 3:16 left in this game. Looking to make a 9-point lead, and Nortman misses the second.
Nortman misses the second. So Vikings up by 8. Nortman guarding Stefan. Stefan doing a little crossover move, trying to get Nortman to break. Break, he's not. Breaking, he is not. As Cash gets it back to Stefan. Stefan guarded by Nortman. Little pull up J for Stefan off the back iron, no good. Out of bounds to Mount Horeb ball. With 2:49, oh my goodness, I've been keeping the clock going here.
I was kind of being a little rough up here myself, hoping the call to go Mount Horeb's way, and that it did.
Oh, nice little home run pass, intercepted. I like the try, Stefan. Vikings get back on D, so good job, Stefan. Little spin move, good job getting his player up in the air, but
that looks like a clean block to me, Will.
Looked clean to us, but the refs have a better view of things, and Stefan will be at the line shooting 2, as it was a shooting foul. The Vikings fans
don't know what they're
just
there.
Being relentless, telling them the choke. I don't know. I'm all about, cheering your team on, but let's get a little sportsmanship here, okay?
Don't know what they were chanting, but whatever it was, it worked. And they're trying it again, and it did not work that time.
Didn't work. So
1 for 2, though, 50%.
Stephens 1 for 2 from the free throw line. They're not going to try the home run pass. They'll just get it into Classy. He gets it over. Oh, Larson, a turnover. That is not good. And Coach Nessheim is about to blow a gasket.
A 3 here would make it a 4-point game, so that'd make it quite the interesting finish.
Coach Nessheim is about to blow a gasket. And, wow. What a turn of events this would be if Waunakee got a 3 right here. Nats, guarded by Farnsworth, gets it to Fisher, to Stefan. Down low, 3-point shot. Oh my goodness.
Wow. That's all we can say, well, wow.
That's all I can say.
4-point game, just like I was saying.
4-point game. Just like that, Waunakee back in it after being down 10.
Slow 6-0 spurt.
And Ness needed a timeout. So a quick little run here by the Warriors, cutting that lead down to 4 for the Vikings. Vikings, I think they just need to play solid defense here. And if they do, they can keep this lead and add to it. And they need to, Dan, because right now they have been, like I said before, I would obviously love for the Vikings to come away with a victory. But regardless, this would be a moral win for them, playing as well as they did today.
I believe this game is kind of like the Mount Horeb versus Oregon game a couple years ago when Frederickson hit that game-winning 3. I feel like, if I remember correctly, Oregon had a late spurt and Frederickson nailed a 3. One of the greatest Wisco calls I've ever heard.
We all remember that very well. It's the greatest Wisco call. It's also in our little intro we have there. So Zenz looking to inbound it. They need to be safe with the ball this time. He can run with it. And he gets it into Larson. Larson is stopped. A foul, I believe.
Reach in.
A little reach we got.
1-and-1 bonus here for Larson.
So,
gotta knock down the first.
So Dan, we've been saying this all game. Free throws all season so far. Free throws can determine a game.
Vikings haven't been their normal self from the line this game.
Larson's first free throw is money.
Huge free throw by Larson. 5-point game, 2:18 left, 43-38. Looking to make it a 6-point advantage for your home team.
Looking to try to make it a 6-point advantage. Does Larson off the back iron, no good. And it stays a 5-point game. Waunakee with the ball. Stefan over to Nats, hounded by Dustin Zenz. Fisher guarded by Farnsworth. Nortman not giving Stefan love. And little block. Oh, I heard a slap. Oh, had a cutting Gunnar Nortman. Jason Larson. And he kicks it out to Bryce Farnsworth. Gets it to Jason Larson. Thought about the 3. Instead, they'll just play keep away here. And a foul called on Waunakee.
I personally think it's just a tad bit early to start intentionally fouling, but
Dan, I agree with you. I'm actually pretty shocked they're intentionally fouling.
Maybe the Waunakee coach has a strategy up his sleeve that we just don't know about.
Yeah, maybe he knows that the Vikings have been struggling a little bit tonight, and putting them at the line may be a good place. So Nortman's, first free throw badly missed. So a 5-point game as Stefan has had the hot hand tonight, guarded by Farnsworth. Little step back jack, no good. Possession belongs to Waunakee.
Looks like that could have been an over the back foul, but ref said no, not today.
Ref said no, and timeout. 30-second call by timeout called.
Jump around is incoming, I believe.
And wow. We are set for an amazing finish.
5-point game may seem like a pretty big lead, but it's not.
5-point lead.
2 possessions and could be down.
Two possessions and Waunakee could be in the lead. And I hope, knock on wood, that doesn't happen. So as jump around is happening, not many people are jumping. The true fans, I would say, are jumping around, having a good time. But what a game this has been. Vikings being down, I think, is as much as almost 9. Fought their way back and have a lead by 5. Also playing solid defense. And
refs having a little conference
refs discussing.
It is awkwardly quiet in the gym right now. Not normal for the high school gym.
They're just figuring out who the foul is on. And a little lob in to Fisher. Fisher thinking of trying to go straight up. And a block by Dustin Zenz. Kicked out in the hands of Stefan. Oh! Rejected by Gunnar Nortman. Oh, man, was that a violent block.
2 blocks on 1 possession is quite rare in basketball. I can't recall a time I've seen that on TV or in person.
Oh, my. Nortman went after that ball with a vengeance. Kick out to Hack. He had the hot hand from 3-point. Oh, trying to get a little fancy there.
Little wraparound pass. Thought the postman, huh? Anyway, thought the guy in the post is going one way, and he went another. So, a little bad luck if you're the Warriors. Good luck if you're the Vikings.
Larson. They need to get it across.
Got a wide open Classy in the corner.
They're not thinking about threes, though, Dan. They're just trying to end this clock. And, ooh, they could the foul.
1:01 left, 5-point lead. Larson looking to make it a 7-point lead, looking to make it a 45-38 lead.
These are important free throws, to say the least. I don't want to say daggers yet. But if Larson knocks these down, that could be huge.
First one's up and gets
ooh,
the roll.
Wow. So, first free throw for Larson is good. 1:01 left. 44-38. Larson makes a pair.
Nothing but net.
So
45-38 game, 1:01 left. We're going to have a good finish here, folks.
We have a good finish. It may be a 7-point lead, Dan, but we've seen crazy things happen. So Cash will get it in to Stefan. Stefan will dribble it across the court. He'll march it up, just getting that offense set. You'll think they're going to try to get it into the hand of Hack, who's had the hot hand from three-point. And a little tie up there. They need to call a hands ball. Bryce Farnsworth, what a great play. And the Vikings get the ball back. They can smell it.
Wow. I personally thought that might have been a foul on Farnsworth. So did Waunakee fans, but
I think the ref saw Farnsworth had his hand on the ball, and that was just the deciding factor. 47.8, and Zenzel get it into Larson. They're not going to foul yet.
Any foul would be 2 shots for the Vikings. Double bonus. Got to get it across.
About 5 seconds. That's the second 5-second we've seen, Dan, this game.
Looks like it might have been a foul just a tad bit earlier than the 10 seconds.
Maybe a foul, but I think it was a good call.
Me too, Will.
They just they looked a little frantic out there as Nats will get it over to Stefan. Stefan has had a huge game today. Absolutely. As Nats will jack up a 3. This is huge for the Warriors. Doesn't go down. Rebound by Hack, and they'll call a timeout. A full timeout.
We'll take a break here.
We'll take a full timeout with them as well.
45-40, 24.3 seconds left. We'll be right back. And welcome back here to Mount Horeb. All 2s on the scoreboard. 22.2 left as Farnsworth looks to shoot 2 to make it a 7-point lead. First one is up, and
money.
Nothing but net.
Nothing but net. Farnsworth.
6-point lead, 22.2 seconds left. You'd imagine this is a safe lead, but you never know in sports.
You never know, especially high school basketball. Crazy things have happened before.
Farnsworth's second free throw. Two dribbles. Shot is up.
Money.
Clutch free throws by Farnsworth as Tyler Krubal looks to check in for Bryce Farnsworth.
So 7-point lead for the Vikings and 22.2 seconds left, as Dan said. Left in the clock. Vikings looking to end this one. Nats will walk it across. No sense of urgency here. They're down by 7. They probably need to jack up a 3. Stefan, little shake and bake, maybe a little too strong. Up, rebound by Dustin Zenz, and they're going to foul him. And the Vikings can smell it.
7-point lead with 8 seconds left. Will, I don't want to jinx it, but I would say the Vikings have this one in the bag.
The Vikings can smell it.
Especially with 2 free throws here, it would definitely be ball game.
Like blood in the water for a shark. I don't know where I got that reference from. I was watching probably a nature documentary. As the first free
It
throw.
sounded good, Will, though. That's the main thing.
Like I thought of a nature documentary, like Richard Attenborough saying something, or David Attenborough. Oh, I can't remember which one it was. But
Zen's second free throw to make it a 9-point game with 8 seconds left. Up and clutch.
money.
Clutch free throws.
9-point lead, 8 seconds left, and all you can hope is Waunakee gets a quick 3, no good. Rebound,
And the Vikings are not yet. I can't say it yet.
and that'll
the
do
Vikings hand the Warriors their first conference
That
loss,
will do it.
dethroning the possible champions of the Badger North. I don't know if that made sense, folks. But anyway, the Vikings won, handing the Warriors only their second loss, moving them to 7-1 overall and 4-1 in conference, making the Warriors 8-2 overall, 4-1 in conference. What a game, folks.
What a game indeed for these Vikings, and what a big-time win. How this could be a confidence-boosting win that puts them on a streak of consecutive wins, Dan. We'll discuss the significance of this win and also give you our player of the game when we come back. You've been listening to Wisco Radio. Don't tune away, folks. We got a little bit more left for you. We'll be right back.